My terrible mother-in-law accused me of cheating and demanded a DNA test. I made everything worse by telling her I also wanted her to get a DNA test for my husband. I met my husband Stephen at a friend's cousin's party. We instantly connected and started dating not long after. We have been happily married for 5 years now and have a 4-month-old son. I met my mother-in-law at his uncle's funeral, and he asked me to attend in support of him. Before we left, his cousin warned me about mother-in-law. He said she wasn't the nicest person, she had impossibly high standards to meet, and can be judgmental, so don't take it personally, as she's like that with everyone. I did ask my husband and he agreed that mother-in-law can be quite judgmental, but not to worry, that he will be there for me. I felt like they gave me the sugar-coated version of her because she was terrible. She made a scene about bringing a stranger to a family funeral, but my husband cut her off and said his aunt, who was his uncle's widow, said he could. She spent the rest of the funeral giving me nasty looks and making passive-aggressive comments, but after minimal contact with mother-in-law, my husband eventually got around to telling her that I was pregnant. I expected her to be angry and have a go at him. But she surprised us both and was the complete opposite. She was excited about being a grandmother. She congratulated us. Her attitude did a complete turn and I grudgingly allowed her to visit. When it was time to give birth to my son, she wanted to see my son being born, but I refused. That's when her ugly side reared its head again and she caused a scene and was thrown out. I refused to let her visit us at home, and my husband agreed. But she rang crying and apologizing. She said she was just overwhelmed about being a grandmother and her emotions got the better of her. Against my better judgment, I relented and said okay. When she first held him she looked at me and said he was beautiful. I went into the kitchen to get us a drink and then I could hear my husband telling her to get out. I went back in, she started yelling he needed to get the baby tested because he didn't look like anyone in their family. He kicked her out. She took to SM and told everyone that I cheated on my husband and that my husband needed to get a DNA test to prove he was the dad. She got a lot of attention for that, so I made my own post and said I'll get a test when she gets a test for her son. That just made everything worse. She rang my husband up telling him to take it down. He just hung up on her. Everyone was divided and questioned my husband's paternity since she had such a strong reaction to it. Now even my husband is starting to wonder and making me feel I went too far and I'm thinking am I the a-hole for saying that?